Hi everyone and welcome to TV Plus. Today we're looking at the new Zara McDermott documentary, Thailand, the Dark Side of Paradise. For once, it's a documentary that lives up to its title. It looks at everything from misogyny to Thai police corruption. She even drinks a free shot, which is probably inadvisable, tut-tut. The most drama occurred when she was almost arrested in the red light district. Let's have a listen to the Q&A.
To Bangkok to Koh Sam Road. I mean, getting arrested. You didn't, well, nearly getting arrested. That must have been quite scary. Obviously, you just noted on it then, you mentioned it there, but in real time, how was that? Are some of the crew in the room now that, wow, hi, because I was thinking that line that one of your crew got an ashtray.
Criminals.
Yeah. One of you got an ashtray thrown at your head? No.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Caroline,
I'm sorry you went through that, but
she's recovered now.
it felt even just watching it really quite hostile. So how has it actually been in real time?
Yeah, I think that, the edit can only capture so much, but realistically that was probably, about an hour and a half of our time, and our crew got split up in that process, and we were really trying to get out of that situation, but unfortunately with the language barrier issues as well, and trying to communicate with the police, and also this is our first proper night, so we didn't really understand how to deal with a situation like that, and what do you do? We were really lucky that we were able to kind of get away in the end and not have to hand over any of our footage, because we would have also lost that entire the previous parts of that clip as well. If we had to delete all the footage, it would have been quite a problem for us.
The whole introduction to the documentary would have been gone.
Literally.
You are on the edge of your seat being like, oh my God, you can't get rid of this. You can't lose that. And you said there was kind of a switch, because obviously you had permission to be there, but it all just kind of switched on you in the moment. Tell us how that kind of happened.
Yeah, I think it was quite difficult to understand, because I think we were quite confused initially. We'd obviously done months of work. The team had done, a lot of the legwork in trying to make that possible. They don't like you filming there in general, but we'd done what we needed to. We'd jumped through all the hoops. We'd got the permissions. We paid for a permit, which is a fair amount of money for us, and to then get there and feel so unwelcome, which, look, I expected in some ways for the girls to not want to be on camera, of course, and for people to kind of be ducking and diving away from the camera at certain points, but to actually be told by the police you cannot film, even though we jumped through all those hoops, it was a bit confusing for us, and we didn't know what to do. But I think it's important to editorialize those moments and to not switch the camera off, actually, and just to roll in real time. And I think that's really important as important part of documentary making, in my opinion, is breaking that fourth wall and showing the viewer actually what we've had to deal with that evening, and kind of taking them along rather than editing it out as if it didn't happen. I think, it's really important that we show the realness, because I think it really, it really reflects what you go on to see through the series, the kind of corruption that does exist in Thailand.
This is what I was going to say. Do you think that experience kind of talks to the Thai culture and how hard it is actually to determine what the rules are? Because I know through watching the whole series that the lines are kind of blurred.
Yeah, I think one of the words that we kept using as we're filming is the word contradiction. Thailand does feel like a bit of a contradiction a lot of the time, actually, while we were filming, because a lot of it didn't make sense, and we're trying to work it out on the ground. Like, what is the right thing to do? What does this mean? And I think dealing with a foreign authority, it is difficult, because the rules are so different from the UK. The police just work differently, and trying to film a whole documentary and capture that while also dealing with the repercussions of that is challenging, but we got there.
Trying not to get arrested, basically. That's what you're really trying to do. You try not to end up in one of those Thai prisons. And this was your first time backpacking, Zara.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a first experience. How was it actually getting to experience that? And that first night on Koh Sam Road, you went into a Koh Sam Road hostel, which I've been in myself. many years ago. What was it like? Luckily, I didn't do the joint. I had my own room too with a couple of friends, which was great. But how was it actually going into that experience as a first-time backpacker? Did you take earplugs and an eye mask? Because I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, I did. And honestly, my room was overlooking the Koh Sam Road. So, like, there was only so much that the earplugs can do, to be honest. But it was definitely expensive. I think, what did we get? Like an hour's sleep, maybe 2? Better than nothing. Better than nothing.
Well, you wouldn't tell. You all look fantastic. You wouldn't know at all.
Yeah, you didn't see the next morning. We were all zombies. But yeah, it was a really interesting experience. I think it's something that I wish I did when I was younger. I wish I did the whole backpacking thing, and I think that, you know, I definitely would have made some amazing friends in that. And I did go straight out to work when I was younger, but I definitely wish I took a year out and did that. But I feel like I got a little taste of that through making this documentary, so it was really fun.
And do you think through making this documentary, that's what's given you that kind of, I wish I did that? I mean, you got to do it, but do you think that's what's, seeing like the kind of young people that you met, is that's what's kind of made you think, yeah, I would have liked to have done that?
Yeah, and I think also seeing how happy everyone is and how kind of carefree everyone is when they're backpacking, and it's almost just like everyone's just focused on, you know, going out that night and where they're going to go next, and how lovely just to kind of have those worries when you're backpacking. It seemed like such a fun thing to do when you're a teenager, or even older, to be honest. But yeah, something I wish I did, for sure.
So do you think you'll be going backpacking in the future?
No, not now. I'm pushing 30. Like, can you do it at 30?
I guess it depends what you're looking for, but yeah, so you're not going to be going off travelling with a backpack anytime soon?
No, with a suitcase, definitely.
I did Bali with suitcases, you can do it.
I still don't understand how people fit everything in the backpacks, to be honest. Literally.
I think it's washing a lot of things in sync.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's not great. And how did Thailand compare to the other like filming locations you've been in before?
Oh, I think the only kind of, I suppose I have filmed abroad a couple of times, but in terms of the similar kind of series to this is the Ibiza series that I did. But, you know, the island is so tiny, you can get from one end to the other in half an hour. So being now in a huge country, flying from one place to the next and being on a boat and stuff, is definitely interesting because you get to see the breadth of the country, and I got to see lots of different corners of it, and it felt very different in each place. So that was definitely fun.